So, first and foremost, and I don't like doing this, but I'm going to do it. I want to poo-poo the NBA just a tiny bit and say, Adam Silver, you fucked up a little bit here. A great weekend slate of games. Friday night, you had the Knicks and the Thunder. That was a very, very fun, great game. The Thunder obviously are the best team in the NBA, but the Knicks were on a huge winning streak. They've been playing some incredible basketball lately. And that was a really fun game. The Thunder pulled away in the end, but that was a close game. The Knicks played, I thought, really well in that game. Their fans should have felt fine about that. You had that game. You had 2 back-to-back nights, Friday and Saturday. Spurs, Nuggets, Wemby versus Jokic, and holy shit, that lived up to the hype. Both of those games were great. A split. The Spurs won in Denver. Wemby had 35 and 18 in that game. He was awesome. Devin Vassell had a couple posters. Chris Paul was doing Uncle Chris. I love that. I love that they call him that. That is awesome. Uncle Chris. And then Saturday, overtime game, Nuggets, Spurs. Jokic had 46 and 10. Wemby had 20 and 23. Like, incredible. And then yesterday, you had, what was, up until this point, I think, probably the most entertaining and exciting game of the season, like going into it, Thunder Celtics. And it ended up being that. The Thunder gave up 27 fucking points in the second half of the game. None of these games were on national TV. Not a single one. There was not a single nationally televised game, and I don't care about NBA TV. Do they count? I actually didn't know this. Do they count NBA TV as nationally televised games? They shouldn't. Okay. Those don't count to me. They don't pass the Aura test. Because to their credit, they did flex this Thunder Celtics game onto NBA TV. Why I wasn't there before, I'm not sure. But come on, man. Like, we can't. What did ESPN have going on Friday night? Huh? The Mayonnaise Bowl? Tune in Toledo versus Miami of Ohio in the Mayonnaise Bowl. Like, are you fucking joking? How are none of these games on national TV? I really don't know. But let's talk a little bit about this Thunder Celtics game, because this could very easily be a preview of what's to come later in June. I mentioned this last week. I keep going back and forth between whether or not I think the NBA is wide open, because part of me does feel like this season might be a little bit more open than we think. Versus, I want to believe it's open. So I'm lying to myself a little bit. I don't think they start the Sunday afternoon games until after the NFL season. Yeah, they don't start the ABC broadcasts until after. As much as I love OKC's defense, what are your thoughts on the discourse on Twitter saying they get away with more, especially guys like Dort? So, I'm happy you mentioned that. The Celtics put up 65 points in the first half. I saw a funny tweet going around where someone, let me see, I think it was, I don't know who tweeted it. Was it 3Cone? I want to have 3Cone on the show. That's one thing I want to do. I want to start doing like interviews, but I don't know how I would package that. Somebody tweeted out a screenshot. It was the Boston Celtics subreddit, and they were like, "We just scored 65 points in the first half. Like, it's the best defense." And then someone replied and said, "The Knicks scored 66 in the first half and lost. Gotta be careful." And then someone replied and said, "Well, we're not the Knicks." This second half defense the Thunder displayed in this game was one of the best defensive showings I've seen in quite some time. And this is why this game should have been on fucking ABC. I don't give a shit, but should have been on somewhere, because you could have turned this game on. They don't play defense anymore. Shut up and watch. shut up and watch this game. The Celtics were missing a good amount of threes, right? What did they end up shooting this game? 9 of 46. Like they missed some shots that they should hit. But the thing is though, the Thunder make life so difficult for you. You know, they put so much pressure on the ball. They help and recover so incredibly well. They're just all over the court, and it just feels like there's zero breathing space. It feels like they have 7 guys playing defense. Like that's how it feels whenever you watch teams play. It feels like there's 7 guys on the court for the Thunder at any given time. They run out lineups where there's no bad defenders. Last year it was a little bit different. They would have lineups with Josh Giddey out there. Josh Giddey's not a very good defender, whatever. But they run out lineups where, like, Isaiah Joe's the worst defensive player. Like they can even throw lineups out there where, truthfully, Shea might be the worst defender on some of these lineups. J-Dub is a monster defensively. Absolutely. Yeah, he wasn't good in this game offensively, and I know that's cause for concern, but J-Dub has been incredible defensively so far this season. So somebody asked in the chat, one of the common things is, well, look how physical they're allowed to play. The refs let them play. They do play a physical brand of defense, and part of it is, I'm watching these plays back right now on a stream or watching some of these. I don't see fouls on really any of these. But they play physical. They put so much pressure on the ball that it does look like they maybe get away with some stuff. And it does feel like at times they basically dare the refs to be like, are you going to call every foul? Like, surely you're not going to call every single foul. Every defense does this. When the Mavs had their big defensive peak last year, they were a very physical defense. They pressured the ball. They rotated. They closed off the paint. They contested shots at the rim. There's probably a good amount of things they could have called, but they didn't. Like, that's what good defenses do. And here's just reminders that the Thunder are bottom 5 in opponent free throw rate. They do get called for a lot of fouls. Now, part of that has to do with the fact that, that block by Shea. I mean, holy shit. That chase down block Shea had on Tatum. Insane. But they're bottom 5 in opponent free throw rate. Part of that has to do with the fact that they are small. And early in this game, I thought I was a little concerned. And this is a concern, I think, if these two were to meet in a series. A little concerned because the Celtics were just, doing the Celtics things, hunting mismatches, setting screens, setting off-ball screens until they get the switches that they want. And KP was just kind of feasting on his smaller mismatches. KP had 19 points on 6 of 12. I'm interested to see what that number was in the first half. The NBA is such a league where they determine who they want to win. The league wants OKC, and they will let it happen. So, look, I get if you want to do the league is favorable to the Lakers. If you look at the Lakers' free throw disparity numbers, yeah, it is kind of almost impossible to ignore. And then if you want to do the league wants the Lakers to win, I'm like, yeah, they probably do. Why would the league want OKC to win? That's what I'm trying to get. Are they the smallest market in the league? It's either them or the Pelicans. The smallest market. OKC's got the worst free throw differential in the league. SGA propaganda. But, like, they could have already been doing this stuff. SGA's been awesome for like 4 or 5 years. The Thunder weren't on Christmas Day. Like, why would the league? I don't really get it. What does the league stand to gain? If it was, hey man, have you seen the Knicks, the Lakers, the Celtics? Have you seen their free throw disparity numbers? Then I could be like, okay, for sure the league wants those teams to win. There's no reason to act stupid about that. Obviously, like a Knicks, Celtics, Lakers finals would do insane numbers for the league. I think OKC just does the best job of taking advantage of the increased physical play that the league has started allowing. Yeah, I mean, they do have a reputation to fit in Lou Dort, for sure. Does Lou Dort play a very physical brand of basketball where sometimes like, how the fuck did they not call that? Yes, and I want to I clipped this whenever I was watching this game. And by the way, I'll say this again, and I'll continue to say it. The best way to watch these games is to just wait a little bit, watch them, skip through all the stoppages. It is so elite. It is unbelievably elite. Where was this? A hilarious Lou Dort possession. Here we go. This is the quintessential Lou Dort possession right here. Let's start from the beginning. First and foremost, going to flop on a screen. Wait, when does the flop happen? There's several different funny Lou Dort things here. Fights over screen. Probably fouls KP right there. Trying to prevent KP from rolling to the basket by hooking him. Doesn't get that call, obviously. Then probably fouls KP right there. That's it. Wait, I thought there was a flop before I clipped this. He flopped right here. He flopped earlier in this possession, trying to draw a foul on an offensive foul on a screen. Sorry, my cat says hi. Hello, cat. The Mavs' best defender would be Thunder's sixth best defender. You have no chance of winning a playoff series like that. Playing devil's advocate, OKC built their team the right way through the draft and trading for smart young pieces, maybe. Like, that's why the league wants them to win. I really don't know. I don't think... I just don't see a scenario where it doesn't match anything else. Like, if the Thunder were on national TV every other night, I get what you're saying, Cole, but I don't. But basically, I disagree with that, and that's like the only real logical explanation. And even that doesn't add up. The Thunder would take PJ and start him if he was on their team. Yeah, PJ would be nice. So this is why I'm making a video tomorrow. Cam Johnson, there's reports that the Thunder are hot on his tail. Man, that would... that would be very scary. They don't do business for ratings. But I'm still, they want small markets to succeed because OKC's owner feels disenfranchised and is planning to buy a new arena. Are you OKC friends scared of a healthy Mavs team? My OKC friend that I talked to quite a bit yesterday did say that the Mavs are by far the biggest threat in the West. Now, of course, we're running into a problem here where the Mavs are injured. We don't know what they're going to look like come April. I don't know. I guess I'm trying to understand, Tuna, where you're coming from. Why would the Thunder's owner wanting a new arena? Why would that mean the NBA wants them to win more games? I could maybe see what you're saying if like the Thunder were thinking about selling the franchise soon and the league was sort of like in cahoots with them. Like, I'm just saying from a conspiratorial mindset, the league was in cahoots with them to sort of maybe up their value a bit. People are dumb. No. I don't think it's. I like where Tuna's coming from. I do, but I don't agree with him. But I like the conspiratorial mindset of why the league could want a smaller market to do well. Honestly, I'm glad OKC is on the run they're on, less likely to trade to improve their team. So, okay, I was wondering, how could a Cam Johnson to the Thunder trade work? And from what I understand, they could make this work pretty easily with just Isaiah Joe's contract and then throwing on a few more things. Like they don't. I mean, they would have to cut into their rotation, obviously, but they don't have to do anything crazy to make a trade like that happen. I saw some Thunder fans who are like, we can't do this because in 2026, 2027, our tax bills get, man, who gives a fuck? fucking cares? You know who should care the least? Thunder fans should care the less about this shit than anyone else. You guys know better than anyone. This shit's not guaranteed. This shit is not guaranteed. Well, we're young and we have this guy and we just did like we're going to be good for the next 6-7 years. You guys should know more than anyone. That's not how it works. You got to capitalize when you can capitalize. And in 26, 27, if, oh man, our tax bill's so high, you can trade some of these dudes. Just because you trade for Cam Johnson doesn't mean he has to be on your team for the next 4 years. How can OKC have lost the regular in-season tournament yet is on a win streak? Losing the tournament doesn't count. No, actually it doesn't because they lost a championship game, and the championship game is the one game of the in-season tournament. That does not count towards your record. I'm not in on the whole like, a few years from now, you have to cross that bridge when you cross that bridge. If opportunities present itself to really improve your team. And if you look at it and you say, man, if we get a Cam Johnson, 6'9", 6'10", I mean, how tall is he? You get Cam Johnson into the mix. This big shooter who kind of fits every single, the small needs that we have, the tiny holes on our team. He patches them up. He patches those up by being this incredibly reliable floor spacer who has some juice off the dribble, is big, can defend, is versatile defensively, does all of the things that we want for a defender. I don't know how the fuck you beat this team. In the West, at least. Admittedly, if they did that, I don't think the Mavs can beat the Thunder. I really don't. No, Cam Johnson is a more than capable defender. This could be interesting. I'm looking at, so they could make this work. Isaiah Joe, Aaron Wiggins, Ousmane Dieng. Aaron Wiggins has been playing out of his mind lately, by the way. Can we all stop acting like Cam Johnson and Scottie Pippen? We're not acting like that. But this could be the, like you think about the flaws on the Oklahoma City roster, which there is some. You worry about J-Dub. That's one of the big concerns. No, they could actually make this happen contractually with just Isaiah Joe and Kenrich Williams. Even in this game, J-Dub 3 of 10. And J-Dub is a sneaky one of these guys where it's like, man, can you stop yelling at the fucking ref and get up the court? Chet's their second best player. J-Dub spends a lot of time complaining. A lot. But the recipe for winning a finals. The Thunder are an incredible defensive team. They have a player who's playing like the best player in the world currently, but beyond that, they have a solidified, no questions asked, top 5 player in the NBA. And Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. And they just have a bunch of guys. That's really the best way to describe it. They have a bunch of guys. Aaron Wiggins can pop off for 15 points. He's been playing out of his mind lately. Isaiah Joe can pop off, knock down 4 or 5 threes, and completely swing a game. Lu Dort can completely swing a game by his annoying as fuck defense. Isaiah Hartenstein can completely swing a game in like a 4 or 5 minute stretch where he grabs 7 rebounds, hits 3 little push shots in the middle of the floor, and gets 2 assists on kickouts to corner shooters. And also a couple blocks. They're as good as, they're very real. However, like if they get to the playoffs and J-Dub is, 48% true shooting, 50% true shooting in a series, and he's averaging 14 points on 13 shots. and Chet's 30% from three, and Lou Dort's 30% from three. All of these things can happen. And you know what? All of these things did happen. That's why they lost to the Mavericks. Well, and a lot of people are like, well, this like shit's cooked. It feels like it's cooked. You look at the Thunder, their pieces, their young talent, they're 30-5. They're gonna get better. Like you like Shea's 26. So if we just assume that 28 is usually when people hit their peak, Shea's not even at his peak yet. J-Dub's going to continue to get better. Obviously, progression's not only linear, but just J-Dub's going to continue to get better. Chet's going to continue to get better. They have a treasure trove of assets. Is this shit cooked? Is what people ask. Our best case scenario. The best case scenario is they somehow flame out in the playoffs this year. Where J-Dub does what I said. Chet doesn't shoot well from three. They struggle from deep. And they overreact and panic in the offseason. That's the way. They overreact and panic and do like a huge trade for KD or some shit. That could fuck their roster up. What's panic trading for Giannis? No. That wouldn't be panic. Panic would be like a Kevin Durant. Like, oh shit, J-Dub's not a reliable number two. Let's just get Kevin Durant. Who do you think is better suited to beat the Thunder in the finals, Cavs or Celtics? I do think the Celtics, because I think that they can punish that size advantage that they have a little bit more with like Tatum and KP. They went 9 of 46 from three. Like they're not. These are tough shots. They turned the ball over 16 times. I mean, the Thunder turned it to another level defensively in the second half, but they did score 65 points in the first half. Like, Denver versus OKC in the playoffs. Give me Denver and Joker. The Cavs are interesting. They play each other tomorrow, right? I mean, the Thunder are on this like weird stretch where they're playing all of the great teams in the East. Yeah, to Wednesday. Thunder and Cavs on Wednesday. That'll be fun. Are we just going to act like OKC versus Denver is the name of the finals like last year we did with Denver? OKC versus Boston? No. I think Boston could get got. I really do. I'm just going to assume they have a switch that they can turn on at any given moment. But there's some stuff with them this year that's like, they feel much more beatable than they did last year. That much is certain. They reached points last year. I was like, how the fuck do you beat this team? And obviously, turns out you couldn't. But look, man, the Mavs could get fully healthy, maybe make an upgrade at the trade deadline somewhere, and go into a playoff series against the Thunder, beat them last year. The Mavs could still beat the Thunder. Like that much is absolutely certain. I just worry now about the Mavs' health. That's really it. The Mavs' health is starting to reach this point that it concerns me greatly. The Mavs can easily beat the Thunder, but I'm afraid of the next few years. I mean, I wouldn't say easily, but they definitely could beat the Thunder. We can have some sort of Denver versus Cavs, and everyone will be shocked. Man, shout out to the Thunder. Is just me? Are they better with Hartenstein, not Chet somehow? Well, we don't know. I mean, they're going to have Hartenstein and Chet together probably soonish. How are you worried about the Mavs' health?